Hey everyone, this is Chris with the Thrash Report. This week we got new tracks from Behemoth, Battlegrave, Befell, and Goatwhore. We go back to 1994 when Pantera covered Metallica with a special guest. It's pretty cool. A country artist breaks up a fight and then drops some metal names. Kind of crazy. And then we have a metaler that took a stab at some stand-up comedy. We go back to 1987 and 1996 for a couple of my favorite back in the days. And, it's a quick one, but I want to welcome you to episode 93 of the Thrash Report. All right. Thanks, everyone. So again, like I said, we got a really quick one today. We're going to jam through some of this stuff. If I jump right into the headlines, this first one is pretty crazy. Back in 1994, Pantera was touring for their number one album at the time, Far Beyond Driven. And at the San Jose, California show, they invited a special guest up on stage, none other than Metallica bassist Jason Newsted. And then they went to form this ad hoc supergroup that Phil named Pantalica. Here's the audio. It's a little messy, but once Dimebag starts singing, it's actually pretty cool. You're thrashing all around. That was Jason growling that vocal. That would have been super fun. I wish I would have been there to see that. That was back in 1994 when Pantera covered Metallica's Whiplash. Pretty groovy. Let's go ahead and look at the next story, guys. And this is one where Luke Bryan calls out a fan and then drops some metal acts. So what happens, this came from Loudwire. I read that it was kind of the second time where we had a fight break out at a show, and then they had to stop the show and call him out on it. This is one where country star Luke Bryan, who called out fans after witnessing a fight, broke up a fight, and then basically, in the crowd said, "This isn't a Limp Bizkit show or a friggin' Gwar." Pretty crazy. I don't know. I mean, fights break out everywhere. Doesn't matter if it's a country show or not. But, really, just to, I guess, make that stereotype that fights will break out at Limp Bizkit or Gwar, kind of unfair. But anyway, I thought it was a funny story, so I wanted to throw it in here. This next one, KAEL took a stab at some stand-up comedy. There's this thing called punchlines and backlines. This is this brainchild of this comedian and writer that has done things like written the roasts for Corey Taylor and Dee Snider, has written for like the Wayne Brady Show, has this showcase where they have some reputable and like seasoned stand-up comedians, but then also introduces a musician as their first stand-up comedy gig. And this year it was KAEL from Five Finger Death Punch. I follow him on social. He's a pretty funny dude. I bet you he just killed. It would have been fun to see. Who would have been good at that? Our own Jim Osborne. Funny dude. Other musicians that have graced this stage, Kip Winger has done this. Todd Kearns, who's played with Slash. We also had Jason Christopher from Prong and Ministry has tried this, and even Chad Stewart from Faster Pussycat. So there's a lot of other artists that have taken a stab at it. I'm just not that witty, but kind of cool. Be fun to see. I'd do it. It'd be good. All right, so another news, it's actually a news and a release. This is kind of big news. I got this out of Loudwire. So from Tampa Bay, Florida, a brand new crossover thrash band called Heaven's Gate. And this band actually is comprised from members of Cannibal Corpse and Municipal Waste. Pretty badass, right? So they said, in keeping with the theme of the band's name, which is derived from the infamous suicide cult that merged elements of Christianity and ufology. This is some next level stuff. And so they dropped their new single called Jerusalem Syndrome. Definitely a crossover, like punk thrash vibe to it. Yeah, I dig it. Pretty cool. So again, that is Heaven's Gate and that new track, Jerusalem Syndrome. And yeah, pretty cool. Again, I always like it when we get members from other bands that team up to form new bands. It's kind of like members of Voltron coming together. I don't know. Let's go ahead and jump into releases this week. So this week, the first one, the big one, Behemoth. Behemoth drops brand new single and video for the Deathless Sun. This is the next single off of their 12th studio album that comes out September 16th. Nurgle goes on to say, this album title means going against the current. It says, it's a negative of the values and morals and ethics that I stand against. And this is The Deathless Sun by Behemoth.
I am nothing without him. Nothing is. I am no one. It is him selling victims to Deathless Sun. I am nothing without him. Nothing is. I am no one. It is him selling victims to Deathless Sun.
Crazy, right? Yeah, I think it's badass. Later on in that track, there's like, it's pretty thrashy. I dig it. I think it's cool. Looking forward to that one. This next band, actually, I got from Bill Joya off of Twitter. He dropped it in my DMs. Battlegrave. I didn't know anything about these guys. This is their second full-length LP that dropped last week. They're from Australia. They were formed in 2017, and they're like a groove thrash metal piece. This latest album called Cavernous Depths. This is Battlegrave. That is Battlegrave with their, again, that new album called Cavernous Depths. This next one is one that I actually have just showed up in my For You page on TikTok, believe it or not. This is a band called Befell. I don't know much about them. Again, they just showed up in my page and they sounded pretty badass. They're from a state college in Pennsylvania. And it says on their page, bring the most crushing riffs and anthemic melodies in a fresh fashion. And this is Befell. Ooh, I like that. Again, shout out to Befell. They have a few other singles on their Bandcamp page. Again, I don't know too much about them. From State College in Pennsylvania, go check out Befell. And this was the track called My Adversary. dude, let's go ahead and check out this next one. And again, I know that there's a lot of people waiting for this. And I'm talking about the new single from Goatwhore. They released this new single called Born of Satan's Flesh. So I can't believe it. They've been around for 25 years, and this new album that's coming out October 7th on Metal Blade, and this is their full-length album titled Angels Hung from the Arches of Heaven. Again, I know a lot of people have been waiting for that, so pretty cool. Let's go ahead and jump into the concert calendar. We got a few other shows I wanted to add. The one I wanted to make sure was on here is the Dime Stock. That's over 20 bands. We'll be there again, headlined by Exhorter, and our friends Squid Hammer is helping drive that show. I went ahead and added In Flames coming up in September, and also the Striper Show. The Striper Show at the Caboose on September 18th. My buddy Andy reached out to me and said that he was thinking of going to that show, and I'll probably go and kind of hang out and tag along on that one as well. Added August Burns Red at the Fillmore on August 16th. And let's not forget that our friends Glutton for Punishment, they're going to be opening for Deicide, Inhuman Condition, and Cataclysm at the Caboose on August 25th. And I will see you guys August 6th, less than 10 days away. I'm going to see you guys at the Anthrax Black Label Society show here at the Fillmore in Minneapolis. It's going to be awesome. I've been following them on social. They just hit that tour first couple nights in, and it's really fun to see the energy and the smiling face of frickin' Joey Belladonna. He's having the time of his life. I just love it. It's just infectious, man. Super cool. They did announce another show, and that's the Trivium show that we're also going to be at this fall. But also, check this lineup out, man. Warbringer, Heathen, and Misfire. How cool is that? They're going to hit this tour kicking off in September, and I actually looked at like every one of these cities to see if I had a conflict and if I could fly there, because it'd be freaking awesome to see these bands together. Again, I'm a huge Heathen fan for sure, but also getting a chance to see Misfire and Warbringer, dude, badass. So it's on the fence, man. I'll figure out what city makes sense. If there's one of these cities that you guys are going to, hit me up and say, hey man, I'll be at this show. Maybe I'll meet up with you. I'll buy you a beer. How's that? All right, let's go ahead and look at the next back in the day. And this next one, again, I don't know, things that happened during the civil unrest a couple years ago. It really kind of, I guess, soured the taste for Iced Earth. I totally get it. But I cannot, it doesn't take away the fact that I absolutely love this album. And the crazy part is, it really didn't get the reviews that hardcore Iced Earth fans liked. They really kind of, when they compared it to some of the earlier albums, it was, they viewed those musical changes as disappointment. Like, what? I thought this album was absolutely fantastic. This album, The Dark Saga, is a concept album regarding Spawn. Those of you that are comic book fans, Todd McFarlane fans, Spawn. I actually still have some Spawn comic books. They're all boarded and backed and bagged in the in my storage. But dude, super cool. This is their fourth studio album. It was released in 1996, and it just, I love the fact that, one, I guess because I had read the comic and it was very fresh to me, it helped to kind of see these songs just perfectly fit in telling the story of Spawn. And I don't know, it was just really cool. And I thought musically it was just fantastic. I thought that it had melody, it was heavy, it had these hooks. Yeah, dude, I dug it. And this track here, this is called Violate, and it's fucking badass. Anyway, I'm a huge fan. I think that entire album is just fantastic. It's, and I think it just had so much emotion too. I think that's why, there's tracks on there too about how, he made this deal and he comes back and he saw his wife then fall in love with his best friend. And you could just feel the pain. Like, these songs are just, dude, goosebumps, bro. Like, wow. Anyway, I love it. Go check out Iced Earth, The Dark Saga from 1996 if you haven't canceled John Schaefer. Let's go ahead and look at the next one. This one actually goes back to 1987. And again, this album, I wore out the cassette. Like, I had the white cassette. I think I got it free from the Music Club. Remember that? I bought like 10 tapes for a penny or whatever the fuck that was. Anyway, I wore out the writing on that cassette. It was crazy. But Dream Evil by Dio in 1987. This was their fourth studio album, and it featured Craig Goldie, which I thought was just fantastic. It had amazing tracks. I Could Have Been a Dreamer, All the Fools Sailed Away, Dream Evil. Super awesome. I can't tell you how much that this album meant to me. I mean, I remember playing Nintendo, like, with my buddies, just listening to this when it first came out. Dude, like one of the best voices in metal, absolutely. Dio, I think Dream Evil, by far one of his bests, at least one of my favorites. I'll put it that way. And that, my friends, is gonna wrap it up for the week. Dude, it was pretty quick, man, right? Less than 20 minutes. You got about 20 minutes to hang out with me. I want to thank everyone for watching, everyone for listening. Thank you so much. Please go follow wherever you get your podcasts. Go leave a review on Apple Podcast. We absolutely would appreciate that. You can like and subscribe on our YouTube channel and smash the bell so you get a notification every time I update the YouTube channel. And I've learned now to put a copyright disclaimer in the description that seems to be helping getting these videos published and released from copyright claims. Anyway, I want to thank everyone. We want to hear from you. Send us an email. Go check out our socials at thrashreport.com. We will see you next time on the Thrash Report. See ya!